haven't seen it right unless they're into some kind of play. like let's not walk there. Let's not walk there.
I really don't know what that is.
I'm too innocent. I have no idea what this is. What is this this talk of no.
I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Road Dogs. My name is Sam, your local freelance, multifaceted specialist.
Wow.
And with me today is...
What's up guys, I'm Kayci Jade. I am a go-go dancer and I model, and then I am a dancer as well. So, I like to put those in two different categories. I feel like I should. Go-go dancer and dancer.
Why is that?
Because it's different, honestly.
Okay.
A lot of people who go-go dance, they kind of just delve into it instead of actually being like properly trained in dancing, I guess.
Interesting.
Where I feel like I have to push myself to say that I am a dancer because I have been properly trained.
That's true.
So.
Yeah. Well, what teams are you a part of, or what teams have you been a part of?
I was a part of Natural State for about 6 years.
Okay.
So definitely like the team that I grew up in. And then currently I am on Rogue Makers.
Nice.
To my roguies.
If you guys didn't know, I used to dance, but as a solo, that was a while ago. And you know, the old bones can't move anymore
Nah, man,
the way that they used to be. Anyways, and welcome back to another episode of Road Dogs. This is a vlog based on LA traffic, and I realized when we were in LA traffic, we would talk about things that are pretty deep, but we would never remember them later because we only talked about them to stay sane while riding, right? And so the topic that we decided on today, and this, I usually bleep cuss words, but I won't bleep this one, is the use of the word bitch, right? Which I feel very strongly about, and people who know me know that I think very strongly about.
Okay.
So,
That's the first one.
yeah, that definitely is a first. It's a very common thing in this world today. It's a very common thing in our society to use a word like this. What are your thoughts on it?
I feel like I kind of want to know your thoughts first. I'm not saying that just to like derive from it, promise. Like I do have my own thoughts on it, but like because like you say you feel strongly about it.
Yes, I do.
I don't really. I used to feel strongly about it, but not that much anymore.
Okay.
Really. So why do you feel so strongly about it?
I think it's pretty interesting that you say that you used to feel strongly about it, and the reason why I say that I think it's interesting is because everyone who used to think strongly about it doesn't think that strongly about it anymore, mainly because it's commonly accepted.
Yes.
I think strongly about it because it's used primarily almost 80 to 90% of the time as a negative word, right? As a word to belittle other people, whether it be and if you think about the context in which it's used, okay, if a guy says it to a girl, very rarely has a positive connotations,
Unless he's like, he's married.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my God, bitch.
You better rock that bitch.
Which I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of people on my dance team use that word so much because a lot of them.
Oh my God.
Which I love that.
Oh. Yeah, so, you know, some homosexual guys will be like, oh my God, bitch. And in a dance community, that's very common.
Very common.
Definitely.
Super common.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But when a guy uses it to another guy, that's highly derogative. Don't be a bitch, man. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a pussy. Don't, you know. The only times that I've seen it used in a positive sense is either a girl to a girl or a homosexual male to another homosexual male or girl, right? Those are the only times I've seen it used in a positive sense, right? And that's why I do my best to stay away from the word in general.
I feel like for me, like the reason why like I was so strong about it in the beginning was because like I don't know, I just didn't like using any cuss words. Like I always think about it in like a significant other kind of sense.
Okay.
I would never like talk to my significant other using like curse words like or like sorry, probably gonna have to bleep these out.
like
Well, I would never like say bitch either. Like I just feel like, and I like one of my biggest things is like another girl calling another girl bitch. Like
Really?
I hated that. Like I hated that so much back then because
It depends on the context, right?
yeah, but like I mean, this is also like I feel like mine's kind of a little biased. Like I mean, me and like Sam talked about this. Like I don't really generally get along with a lot of girls. I grew up in an all-boy family, just like a little background thing. So like I'm more comfortable with talking to guys than with talking to girls. And I'm not necessarily saying that like I only hang out with guys. I do have my fair share group of girlfriends, love them. But yeah, like I just don't think that you should ever refer to another girl like as a girl to a girl calling her a bitch. But then like now I've been kind of like seeing a lot of like Kayci said, like it's been very like widely accepted. And like I've been into the community, like especially dance community, like a lot of people like say yes bitch slay, like yes bitch go away, like you hear that all the time. So like it starts to get catchy on you.
Yeah, definitely.
So you start saying that too whenever you're trying to hype up your dancer friend, like out in the middle of the bar. Like, you're just like yes bitch word. So it's like, because I'm obviously like in the beginning when like I was into like this dance community where everybody was using that word, I would like feel extremely uncomfortable, or like I would kind of like not really like spend a lot of time with them, I guess. But then now I'm seeing it's just kind of like they're using it in a sense of an upper. So I kind of just like adapted to it because I do know that some people use it for very aggressively, which is definitely should not be accepted.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the lead arguments I've heard, because I make it pretty known that I don't like using it. If you don't use the word, you are empowering it you're giving it strength to the word by avoiding the word. And at first I agreed to this until I gave it more thought, and I was just like, well, if I empower the word by using it in a negative sense, then it's only ever going to be used in a negative sense, right? Because I feel like it's very contextual to be ever used in the sense that you were just talking about, right? Yes, girl, work it, like or some shit like that. Yeah, it's like yes, bitch. Head ice us real quick. Head ice us once.
He's like, hold up real quick.
Hold on. Oh, my shoulder. But I mean, that in its own way had its ups and downs. I mean, it's the culture at the end of the day, and I guess like. True, I guess like I can't down too much on choreo culture, or I can't down too much on that culture for calling each other bitch in that concept. But
you're talking in a more general sense.
In a more general sense, I just feel like it's like a guy to a girl is bad enough, and a guy says it to another guy, that's pretty terrible. Yeah. Like there's no positive way I can think that works.
I know. Yeah. Right? I'm trying to think that too. I don't think I've ever seen it go positively. Really.
Yeah, I've just seen people. Shit on each other for it.
Yeah, like belittle each other, kind of make the other feel inferior. Yeah. Demask their masculinity.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, I guess like this is the reason why like I don't like it when girls say it to another girl, like back then, especially too. It's because like I can tell like when a girl like calls me a bitch, like if she's using it in like an aggressive way, or if she's using it in a belittling way, or if she might be using it in a friendly way. But generally, most of the time, I see it as a belittling type of way. Yeah. It's which I hate that. That's why I didn't like it when girls like call other girls like bitch, because like they'd be like, oh bitch, like fucking drink up, or you know, like that shit, like that typical shit that you see, you know. And it's just all like, girl, can you just not like no. No.
Have you ever like felt belittled by men as a go-go dancer?
Belittled by men as a go-go dancer. I definitely like had like cases where like a lot of people think that because I'm a go-go dancer, like they think I'm like easy, I guess. But like that just makes me like super mad. And I definitely have like relationship, not like problems, but like acceptance. Like you'd be surprised. Like everybody says like, oh, I always wanted like a girlfriend that models or dances and shit.
No. A lot of
once
people
you get like your significant other in the spotlight, that shit makes it hard for others. Like you don't know how many relationships I've tried, and like they would like end up like saying like I can't accept you being this, like
Yeah, I don't want other guys to look at you or some shit like
exactly.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
people start getting territorial. You'd be shocked that there's a lot of people out there that's very territorial.
No, I've run into myself, and I don't think that I'm that attractive, but I actually do think I'm confident enough to say that I am at least above average, hopefully.
Yes, he is. That's what I say. Right
Thank
there.
you,
Oh,
thank
no.
you, thank you.
Give him those hearts in the comments.
No. But yeah, no, I've run into the same issue. I've actually, there was this one girl that I saw, I was starting to see on a more serious basis, and her coworker saw my Instagram and told her he looks like the type to play around. If you don't end it with him, our friendship is over.
I hate that so much. You know how much I hate that.
Our friendship is over. Like, what? How
That's such a.
do you draw that conclusion?
Right? That's so toxic. I'm sorry.
It's really judgmental.
It really is.
Yeah. And to be fair, like we all draw judgments. I draw a lot of judgments myself at times, but it's like at least be open to change your judgment or change your perspective.
Or be at least willing to hear out the other person. You know, like be a little bit more understanding. I mean, it's always God, it's so hard to ask for the other to be understanding. That's such a hard thing to ask, but I mean, it takes a lot to take that step into actually understanding the other person's point of view.
That's the problem with words that label people, right? Because when you label a person with a certain word, you don't see them as anything else. You don't think they could be any more two-dimensional than that actual word. The label I got a lot just because of my genetics and the way that I used to dress. Like, I used to wear my leather jacket all the time, and my hair used to be a little more like faux hawked out, and people would be like, "You look watching," like
Gang affiliated.
Yeah, gang affiliated. And so people would judge me based on that immediately. I remember there was one time I walked into Starbucks to meet my ex at the time, and she literally told me later, she was like, "You're so intimidating." I was like, "Well, why?" And I was like, "Everyone shut up when you walked in." And I was like,
Oh,
well, not. I was actually like, "Oh, they shouldn't because I don't want to scare people," right? And that's something that I struggled a lot because of my height, because of my stature, because of my size, and because of just the way that I look overall. It's very hard for me to break that image. Now I could go like full on nerd one day, but it doesn't look right.
You look a certain way, but your trait that you look like doesn't really portray the stereotypical.
Yeah, exactly.
So people, when they see that, it's very off-putting, and like they don't want to like
associate with you.
Yeah, because it's foreign to them, you know? It's all like, yo, you look like a gangster, and I was expecting a gangster, but I didn't get that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, mine tastes like medicine.
What'd you
I've
get?
been trying to get it to like it, but...
What'd you get?
Hibiscus mint with honey boba.
Sounds like it could taste like medicine. Tastes like medicine.
I
Tastes
think
like herb
it's
medicine.
Yeah, I think it's the use of mint that they use. What'd you get?
Lychee peachy.
Oh. Do you really call it lychee?
Yeah. What do you call
For
it?
all you viewers out there, tell me, is it pronounced lychee or is it lychee?
It's lychee. Wait,
Make a poll.
hold up. Wait, I'm trying to think. Lychee? No, it's lychee.
I say lychee. I don't know.
I say lychee. Back on topic. The belittlement of people through the use of titles. I feel like that's kind of where we went. I know that originally it was just the word bitch, but I feel like we've kind of expanded past that. It's more than just that, because there would be. Oh my God! Drive on your side of the road, please. Thank you.
That was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a double yellow line, and you're coming straight at me. I need a dashboard cam. So bad. I feel like this should not be something we encourage in our society. And that's the main reason why I'm against this word, just because it helps the encouragement of belittling people. And call me PC or call me, part of the reason why society is too sensitive. But
Definitely.
I think that it's just an unnecessary word.
I agree and I don't disagree.
Okay.
I agree and I disagree at the same time. I don't know. I do agree that, like, people do use it in a very degrading manner. But then at the same time, I'm just like, some people use it in an upper, you know? But should they use it for an upper? It starts to, like, ask. You know, when you can use all these other words.
Yeah.
Have you ever saw a Facebook post about Robin Williams when he played in a movie as a teacher?
Yeah.
And then he said, like, instead of using this word, use all these other words.
Yeah, the English language is to woo women or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It was a great quote. Great quote. I wish I knew it by heart. Shoot. I wish I did. But I definitely don't know that. Because...
Insert quote here.
Exactly. I'm just going to write it over real quick. But I feel like it's true because the more we use cuss words as kind of filler words, the less we know about the English language. I feel like a lot of the time I stumble over my own words just because I haven't practiced speaking in coherent sentences enough.
Definitely.
Right? Because, you know, among your friend groups you can speak in half sentences and slangs and people will get what you generally mean, but when you want to talk intelligently
yeah, and like
it's hard to connect your words just because there's so much slang and there's so much cuss words you've added into that.
But in a way, like, slang is kind of like a familiarity with another person. Like, I do know what you mean, how, like, I don't get to use, like, it sounds very, like, mean to say, but I'm not able to talk as intelligently to a lot of people. I know. No, it sounds so bad. Like, I don't even like
out of context that sounds
you know?
pretty bad, but it's true.
It's like, I don't know.
There's certain people that won't understand
anything that you're saying.
Dictionary-based English.
Yeah, or like they would like get offended, or like they would not want to talk to you, I guess.
Because you sound uppity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I can give you like an example, like the dance team that I used to
You shall not be named.
Like, I felt like I would always be talking in a very intelligent manner. And a lot of them like to talk in a lot of slang.
Got it.
So it took me a long time to like talk to my dance team. Like, I was very like outcasted. And even my dance team will let you know that I was very outcasted. Like, they can even say it themselves. So I'm not saying this to put anybody on blast.
Yes, definitely not.
Like, so like once I started getting used to like the familiarity, like with the whole like yes bitch, you know, it's not like saying all those like slangs that a lot of people are saying, like the whole lingo here and there. I feel like my vocabulary usage has gone down a lot compared to when I was like back in school and I was like studying. I studied English too. So.
Oh, you did too. Well, I've seen some of your writing, and it makes sense that you would study English.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, because the English language is so broad, and if you don't practice it, like anything, you'll lose it. Right? You need to upkeep it. Right? You need to upkeep it. Like, take out slang, whether or not you need it to be familiar with someone. Still have those people that you can practice professional English with, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it in the workforce. You're going to need it when you want to
communicate your thoughts.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the biggest things that like I kind of feel sad about. I feel like I lost a lot of words to kind of like communicate my thoughts in a more effective way. Because there's certain words that you would say and you're like, that's not really the right word that I was trying to put, you know? And then you're like, what was a better word for that? You know, like you'd be shocked how much like English is such a like, there's so many words that can be misconstrued. Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah. They think like once you just like grow up in America, like you're fucking good, like you can communicate with anyone.
Oh, no.
No. I think America's like the worst at communicating with everybody. I swear, like if people just like honestly learn, like read books. I know it sounds so cliche, but reading books, listening to podcasts. And
podcasts are great. Especially I'm actually thinking of turning this into video and podcast.
That'd be dope.
So the audio version and then the video content. Because this is based off LA traffic and there are plenty of people who want to sit through.
I think it would be really cool. I'd like that. I would probably listen to that too. Because it wouldn't feel like I'm like alone driving and you're just like listening to like a thought that you could relate to as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just like,
yeah.
Okay, I like that. Keep that there.
Sign off.
Noted.
Sign off.
Yeah, I just felt like there would be lots of times, like whenever, I guess like the most relatable thing is like you're fighting with your significant other or something, or fighting with a family member or a friend, and like you can't find the exact word that you're trying to like, that you're exactly mad at or
because
yeah, exactly.
Why don't you know what I'm saying?
Tell me, how many times has someone ever said that to you? Like,
Yeah, you're
it's
just
so
like,
common, and you're just like,
I have no idea what you're trying to
I
say.
don't know what you're trying to say. It's like, it's just like, it doesn't lead to anywhere. You don't solve anything. Like, oh my god, there be so many times that like, we have to talk this out.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a matter of like talking this out because we need to just get this over with. Like, we need to talk this out because I don't understand what the you're saying. You don't understand what the I'm saying. So let's just like come into some translation here, you know? Like,
anyways, I think we covered a lot today, and I think this is a good amount that we've covered. With that said,
I'm Kayci.
and I am Sam. Please don't serve us eggs and ham. Did you like mean mug the camera?
I did. I was
Don't
like,
serve us eggs and ham. Well then.
I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah, I wanted to do green eggs and ham
Yeah, I
because
was
of Sam
gonna
I
say
am,
that.
but there's too many syllables. So that's why I did Sam. Please don't serve us eggs and ham.
Set my heart on fire.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in today and hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you guys liked this and want to see more of it, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you guys have any ideas of topics that you'd like to discuss, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. Love you guys and see you next time.